My name is Koketso Mokgoko. I'm a medical student at the University of Free State.
The MBCHB degree is 5 years at UFS, and at UP it's 6 years.
You don't know how strong you are until being strong is your only option.
Can you give me a quick overview of what your modules have been like from first year to now? Yeah.
I believe in self-management. You can't manage time, but you can manage yourself within the bounds of time.
What is one word you would use to describe your journey so far?
A dream delayed is not a dream denied. What 40? 40 out of 50?
No, 40%. Hey Siki Squadd, welcome to another video. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Siki, a second year medical student, and on today's video I have got a guest with me, Koketso. So, Koketso, can you please introduce yourself to Siki Squadd? Just tell us who you are, where you're from,
Sure.
you know? Yeah.
Hello, hey, yella. My name is Koketso Mokgoko. I'm a medical student at the University of Free State. And yeah, basically.
Okay, Koketso. So the reason why I have Koketso with me today is because we're going to be speaking about some of the differences that we have experienced at the different medical schools that we attend at. So as you guys have heard, Koketso is attending at the University of Free State and I'm at the University of Pretoria. So I'm going to ask him a few questions, but also I just want this to be more of a conversation, where we can just speak and we can just, inform you guys, those that want to study medicine, those that are interested in medicine, what it's like being a medical student and how the journey has been so far. All right. So before I start asking the questions and before we get into the video, I just want to do a quick icebreaker, just to, get you comfortable in the space and, to get you speaking. So the icebreaker is basically just a 90 seconds get to know you Q&A type of thing. Right?
Okay.
So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Question 1 is, what was your favorite sport growing up?
Football.
Okay. Name a fun fact about you.
I do drugs. No, I'm lying. Fun fact about me is
Yes.
I'm multilingual. Yep.
Okay. If you could have lunch with a public figure or anyone famous, who would it be?
Oof. Dr. Ali Abdal.
Okay.
He's in the UK.
Okay. What would you choose as a superpower if you could? And why?
Teleportation. Transport is expensive, guys.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it shall be yours.
If not medicine, then what other career path would you have chosen?
Football.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite subject in high school?
Did I have a favorite subject? Oh, did I? Oh, physics.
Okay.
Not in high school, in grade 12. But in high school, I didn't have any.
Okay, those are all the questions I had. It's only we still got 30 seconds. Yeah, I think that's enough, right? Anything else?
Yeah, nothing really.
Yeah, we're gonna speak about more in the video.
Sure.
So, all right. So, Koketso, my first question for you is, why medicine? Why did you choose to study medicine?
I would say I've always had intrusive thoughts as a person. I'd look at someone and then, like, for example, you see when you're chewing chippies and then there's this movement here. If prison was not a thing, I'd probably open someone just to see what's happening there. So I decided, okay, let's go study medicine to see what's actually happening inside a person. As an athlete, I'd have certain injuries and I'd ask myself, why when I do this hurts, but then when I do that, this stuff like that. And then, yeah, I decided to go in. That's not the only reason. Another reason was I was told that my brother had jaundice when he was born. So he was yellow. He still is yellow, but he's yellow born now. But yeah, he was yellow. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe we can try this. And the last reason is I suck at everything else. I don't see myself being an actuary, thinking about numbers for a living, no. So, yeah, I guess.
Okay, that's really interesting. Hey, so then with that being said, can you just speak about your journey into medical school? Like, how was that? Did you go straight from high school? Did you study anything prior to studying medicine? And even when that happened,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
were your thoughts during that process of you getting into medicine?
So yeah, I did my matric in 2022.
Okay.
So in grade 11, I was not performing well, and I decided I need to pick up my marks. And then the holidays at December of grade 11 leading into grade 12, I decided to study a lot during the holidays. And then that helped me get to grade 12 and start getting good results. And sorry, the moment I got a good result in my first term, I realized, okay, this might be something. I decided, let's continue. Just kept the momentum. We continued to study for the rest of the year. Then at the end of the year, I did quite well. But because of how important grade 11 results, I did not get accepted into any medical school that I applied for. But I did get accepted into a BSc for a couple of universities. And then I chose UCT because a friend of mine was going there as well. Also because I didn't have funding. So UCT was the only university that I know that has no registration fees for your first year. You just rock up and yeah, here's a student card.
Okay.
So I did that. I finished the entire year without any form of funding. So yeah, that was tense. And then yeah, during my time at UCT, I studied a BSc, majoring in biochemistry and human anatomy and physiology.
Okay.
And I did only my first year there, and then I applied to study medicine at many universities. And then on the 17th of October,
Even remember the date?
I saw an email at, I think it was 1:23 a.m. from
123, not 120,
yeah,
not
that's
130.
yeah, and that's where I saw the email from UFS saying,
We
dude,
want you.
come.
What was that?
I said, eh. Then I decided, sharp, Shruti, it's way we're going to UFS, and then yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. So when you went to study the BSc at UCT, was the intention to do 1 year and then get into medicine? It wasn't to do the BSc, but like medicine was always like the top priority. Like that's a question.
Yeah.
Was it like that?
So the intention was to study the first year and apply. And if I
apply.
didn't get in, study the second year and apply. And if I didn't get in, complete third year and apply. But this time it would be probably the GEMP program through VITS.
Okay.
But I was gonna apply every year until Kuzikpen.
Okay, wow, that's really interesting. Like I love hearing how different medical students got into medical school, because everyone has their own journeys, everyone has their own ways, the things that they did. But ultimately, what matters most is that you still kept the goal. It was still there, Guti. You know what, man, no matter what. So with that being said, so you're at UFS, I'm at UP, and the major difference is that UFS is like the MBCHB degree is 5 years at UFS, and at UP it's 6 years. My next question is, I want to ask you why, but I don't think you'd be able to answer that really. But I think as we speak about our journey so far, we're gonna get to discover why like yours is shorter and mine is longer, because you guys have definitely done more from the conversations that I've had with you, and you're still going to share, like the specific modules, what you've learned, and how the curriculum is quite integrated compared to how it's been at UP. But anyways, let's go on to the next question. So most of the time we think that getting into medical school is the hard part. But staying in the degree is harder. Just securing your spot, making sure good, you know what, this seat is mine. No one else is gonna take it. That's the hard part. Yay. So what is one word you would use to describe your journey so far at medical school? Just one word.
Tempting.
Can you explain why that word?
You get tempted to drop out. You get tempted to use drugs.
You're on drugs.
But yeah, yeah, no, it's been very tempting.
Mm,
At some point, you start doubting the existence of God
yeah.
when you were in the position that I was in, where my uh, iman, they call it, the what is it? My connection to
Mm,
God was not as strong. So when
mm,
something, I was like, mm-mm. But it's tempting. Yo.
mm,
Even the lifestyle itself, you would know
mm,
that people people live, people go to groove every now and then. There's the
mm,
temptation to go there as well. But yeah, you need to decide whether you're going or not. So
mm.
tempting with it.
Hey, hey, and imagine like it's only been 1 year and 6 months.
Yeah.
So imagine like the rest of the degree, like, because my thing was always that, like in my first few years of med school, I want to establish like a solid foundation. I want to have a solid, because I know things are only going to get worse from here, Taylor. Like, it's not going to get
Frank.
better, especially because, we're still going to go into our clinical years. We're
Yep.
still going to, yeah, boss, it's difficult, man. It takes time also for you because you're also finding yourself. You want to find the right friends, you want to settle. It's a lot. So would you say that you've settled now? Like, do you think you've, you know, like you une backbone manje and yazaz, or it's still a
Eh,
process?
I think for what I have to face now,
Mm,
I do have that because obviously, like every year, you learn something new.
mm,
Something that I was telling you as well is
mm,
that you don't know how strong you are until being strong is your only option.
mm,
I realized last month that I can study for 12 hours in a day and sleep for 3 hours. I didn't know that was
mm,
possible. Uh, and the year before, I realized that I can study for 8 hours straight. Who knows
mm,
what's coming next year? But
mm,
yeah, you keep on growing every now and then. You learn something new. So
mm.
yeah.
Yay, 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 yay. Hi, this was some other form of refinement. La, in medical school. Yeah. But anyways, let's speak about your feelings before you started medical school. Like, were you anxious? Were you excited? Were you nervous? And can you explain like how those feelings kind of changed, or are you still
Hmm.
do you still have that excitement that you had before? And yeah, yeah, just your feelings.
Based on so first of all, you can imagine having come in from having done a piece of another degree. I have not only like everyone has the excitement of I'm gonna be a medical student, but for me it's also the is this really happening? You
Mm,
know that feeling of hey man, so vele. And I refused to believe that I'm a medical student until I
mm,
was registered. I was like,
mm,
mm-mm. My mother's like, oh, Quickie, you've made. I was like, no, what if it's a joke? Let's go find out and stuff like that. And then,
mm,
yeah, once I was registered, I made a YouTube video on my channel where I think it's titled "We Finally Got Into Medicine." Like, even in that video,
mm,
I couldn't believe it. It didn't click.
mm,
And man, yeah, it's yeah, it was feelings of disbelief in the beginning,
mm,
and then from there it turns into excitement. You know, when you hear these new words, when you get the anatomical terms.
mm, 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 mm,
I remember during orientation,
mm.
some of my friends were, "Yo, guys, erectus abdominis yami," stuff like
Alright,
this. Yeah,
DJ.
people are saying, "Hey guys, oh, intombazane kwamele izolala ku-pectoralis major." I'm like, oh, okay, sharp. So hearing all those things, I was like, wow, yeah, you sound smart. And
Yeah.
even 6 months into your medical school career, come back, your relatives are asking you, oh, doctor, hey
Advice.
guys, I just
Hey.
just arrived. So it was that. And I
Mm,
think it's a fluctuation of feelings because
mm,
closer to exam periods, I'd like you to give me your opinion on that. Closer to exam periods, personally, I start feeling this doubt, man. Ore, Esan, I have these many sessions to study,
mm,
and it's not looking possible, and looks like everything is difficult. Like you start asking yourself, am I even supposed to be here? Like, hey
mm.
man, why is this so difficult? How do people even pass this thing? How is
Yeah.
this? How is that? How is that? But then the moment you're done with the exams and you are back at home, and for me who got results 2 weeks ago, you realize that you passed. Now you feel like now I'm a
Life
doctor.
ain't that bad.
Ain't
Like,
that
you know
bad?
what?
Ain't
I
that
can
bad?
do this.
So I'll be sitting, feeling like okay, maybe I'm a doctor, and
Mm,
I see some like I usually play football with some boys in my neighborhood. I'll see them playing, and then one of them just falls, and then when I see something like one of them got a dislocation this one time, I quickly fixed it there on the spot. And it's that moment you feel like and unfortunately, I don't know if you do the same thing as well. I walk around hoping to see someone faint, just to do something about it.
Just so they can ask, is there a doctor around?
Because obviously,
a medical student around? Anyone? Help!
So yeah, it's mixed emotions. It's mixed emotions. So yeah.
Okay, I love that answer. Can I move on to the next question? Oh,
may I please get your opinion?
Oh, my opinion on it. Yeah. With me, I think the one thing that I had to battle with last year was, most coming from high school or just like my academic life before medical school. Obviously, like I was top performer. You're like you're used to those 80s. You're like, yeah, it's the norm. A 70% to me was foreign. It was like I go in manjale. But then in medical school, you come from being you come from being the best of the best, and when you're at med school, you're average because you are seated with the best of the best. You're seated with academic weapons, academic warriors, So for me, it was that thing of which like I had to because I used to base my worth off of my marks. Like my marks was everything. So when I got to medical school, I was like, you know what, Siki, you getting a 60, you need to, and I saw a video of someone saying this, that even if you get a 50, that 50, you're getting it in medical school. So it's that thing of which like, it's not that it's impossible to do exceptionally well in medical school. It is possible, but you just need to establish those study methods. You need to find ways to ensure that you can, get up there, or like you're slowly climbing the ladder, and also that thing of which you're not competing with anyone except yourself. Like it took me time to actually factor that in, that what, like I'm in my own lane and I'm competing with me. So if I start with the 40, the next one I'm getting a 45, basically into 50, basically, like it's hard. It's so hard. Like, yo, dude, no, it's hard. Guys, you fail.
What 40? 40 out of 50?
No, 40%.
Okay, sure.
40%. Hey, so there's that thing. And also, like, last year, it was also that thing of having the failure. No, not the failure. It's the fear of failing, like the fear of academic exclusion. And then, because with us at UP, how it works is that in your second semester, if you fail, we have a module called block 1. And if you fail that block, you can't even repeat it. Like, it's academic exclusion straight in G. Like, you can't even come back and do it again. You're excluded, and you have to come and reapply for medicine again.
Yeah.
So it's just that thing about, it's like, mentally, I think medical school really teaches you to be mentally tough before you can handle anything. Like, you gotta control your mind and tell yourself, you know what, I know I have to go through 100 lectures for this exam, but by fire, by force, I have to get it done. Like, you just have to make a way. Like, So yeah, for me, it's still a process of, like every day I'm learning, Shem. I'm still adjusting even today, but there's progress, I must say. There's definitely, despite drinking energy drinks, Switch, Monster, all of that, this previous semester we survived off of those. Because imagine 50 a month. How am I going to do it? How am I going to balance like going to the hospital, having calls, doing the studying for exams? So right now I'm still trying to find that.
Take drugs.
But I'm actually concerned. Well, no drugs.
No, it's okay though. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you give me a quick overview of what your modules have been like from first year to now? Yeah, just like a quick overview, and then we'll go into detail with each semester.
Okay. First year, first semester. So I had, there was so every module in medicine, KJV starts with M.
Okay.
So MANA, I think the M stands for medical or medicine. I don't know, but MANA, which is anatomy. There was MHIS, which is histology.
This is first year. This is like
first semester. Yeah.
Okay.
There's anatomy. There's histology. Then there's MGen, which is general. but then the gen has A and B. A was things called Kiabua, where you learn Afrikaans and English, and then study skills, stuff like that. Basically, your life skills, yeah, then. And then MGen B was medical physics. And then there was MCHD, which is the concepts of health and diseases. Then there was MDoc, which is the doctor and the environment, so informed consent, stuff like that. What else? I think I'm missing something. That's why I missed it. I didn't do well on it. Okay, and then there's MSci, which is psychology. Ish. Yeah. Ish.
This is for the entire year?
No, only for the first 6
semester.
months. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, must I continue?
Yes, you can go into second semester.
In second semester, there's MM, which is membranes and receptors, and then which is basically what can we call it? It's like receptors, neuromuscular junctions and stuff.
Okay.
And drugs, some drugs.
Okay. So pharmacology a bit.
Yeah, and then M-mol,
molecular,
which is molecules of the body, which is biochemistry.
Okay.
And then we had Mana, anatomy continued, and then there was MSSM, which is a research module. It's continuous over 3 years. So we're doing currently the principal investigator of my group, we're doing a research as well. And then I think those are for second semester. Then in third semester, which is what I just did now, we had MM was continuing, but now it continued as pharmacology, so just drugs throughout. Drugs.
No wonder, drugs.
And then M-mol, M-mol,
which is the biochemistry continuation of it. Okay. Sheesh. So that was so the M-mol was a year module.
It was
like a year from last year second semester to this year.
Yeah, because when you write now the exams after third semester, you write on second and third year work. On second and third semester work like that. And then I think I'm missing 2 more. Yeah, MSSM continues as well, as I said. And then anatomy continues. And then there was what else? Oh yes, then there was MINF, which was infectious in so bacteria, staphylococcus, all of those things, viruses. And then there was MDIS, which is diseases and so the cancers and
so you guys are like knee deep into this degree because
apparently
like first semester you already started anatomy histology. You see, with us, histology was only introduced in second semester. Anatomy was only introduced this year, March. So like a big difference. Like there's a big difference. No wonder, just 5 years, 6 years. I think I'm starting to understand why. And also like with us, because already first semester you guys already started with it was medical related courses like anatomy or histology, all of that. We in first semester it was basically a BSc with us the first 6 months. We had physics, we had chemistry, we had molecular cell and biology, MLB, where we learned about DNA, we learned about plants, we learned
plants.
Yes, I remember listening about plants. There was
plants in medicine.
I'm telling you, because the thing is, I forgot. There was like the whole process of, let's not go deep into it. But it was just biology. So those 3, it was psychology, philosophy, medical terminology, and so those are all. The only one that was related to medicine was medical terminology. Because and then I think also chemistry a bit, because how like some of the questions were related to, for example, things like buffers in the body. So it made me understand it's okay, So that was us the first 6 months. And then second semester was where we moved campuses. Like we went onto the medical campus now. First 6 months we were still on
main campus.
With like the other faculties, the law faculty, engineering. We were with the other faculties. Second semester, we went onto a new campus. We were surrounded by medical students. You see scrubs. You're like, okay, we see the vision. Then we started with block one. Block one was one module, but under block one, we had multiple sub modules. So we had immunology, histology, genetics, osteology. Did I say osteology? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't, yeah.
Osteology. What else? Embryology. Did I say that? I don't know. But it was just many ologies, J. Just yeah. I think we had about 8 or 7. And yeah, with that module, we had tests every week, and then we had an exam for it, and that was over. Next, I think we had, I don't remember like the block name, but it was about drugs, basically. Like, and they have to introduce the drugs only because, yeah, as a doctor,
because drugs are important,
So we learned like the basic mechanisms of drugs, and yeah, that module wasn't too hectic. And then yeah, so that was second semester, and yeah, wasn't too hectic. It was this year.
All the ologies,
all the ologies were too hectic. It was just, I don't want to say the basics, yes, but it was just like, can I say the foundation?
Yep.
Because I need to, as like going forward, we're still gonna go back to embryology. We're still gonna go back to
osteology in there.
But even with osteology is gonna form the foundation of it. Like now, when we learn anatomy, osteology we do in passing. It's like you should know that. You should know the, the tubercles of the, the simple things.
Yeah.
So yeah, then second semester was not second semester, first semester of second year, and I noticed that you guys call first semester of second year third semester. Is that what it's called? Semester 3. So going forward, we would then be semester 4, semester 5.
If you passed, yes, and if you fail, you go to semester 2 again. But yeah.
Okay. So wait, going back to semester 2. So
yeah.
Oh, so now you're gonna continue with the first years of.
Yeah. So when the first years pass semester 1 and go to 2, you join them.
So it's like you're repeating, basically. Like
you are. It's not like it. Yeah.
Yo. Yeah, that's the one thing about like failing ish. And do you guys have is there like a specific rule at UFS that you can't fail a specific number of times? Like, can you take 10 years to complete a 5-year degree?
I mean, there are people that I know that have been there for quite some time, so I think so. But yeah. But there's a level, man. There's a level that you can't like fail. Like for example, see how you spoke about you can't fail block 1 because you get excluded. So semester 1 in medical school, if you fail it, because you can't go on to second semester with other people, and unlike semester 3 where you go with other people, so you go to a program called LDP, which is a learning development program, where what they do is you attend classes. Apparently, you attend classes with other students like nursing, that, and the courses that you're doing in first semester, your histology, anatomy, you do them in more broken up fashion and in more depth. There's even a module they say which teaches you how to handle failure, for example, and then you have to get a certain mark in order to be allowed to come back to first semester again. So yeah, so if you don't get that certain mark, then you can't come back now.
You can't come back. Yeah. Sheesh. Yo, guys, my failing is not an option. Like, yo, wait, okay, where was I?
You were talking about semester 3 for me, which is your first semester of second year.
Yes. So semester 1 this year. Yay! Yeah. Block 3. Flashbacks. Block 3 was basically physiology for 8 weeks, and yes, that's what it was about. Just, there was a lot going on with block 3, and even senior medical students, they still complain about this block 3. So can you imagine, like, as second years, you're excited, we're like, okay, there's progress, we're going to second year. Jan, we started with block 3. We've heard so many horrible things about it, and it was a roller coaster. It was.
So you're done with block 3 now?
I'm done with block 3, which is the physiology. It was just 8 weeks,
Mm.
but within that 8 weeks, like the content is so
It's a lot.
yes,
Yep.
it's a lot, and it's like condensed, like, and you need to know this by this time. Like it was a lot, but but we got through it. By God's grace. Sizamile, sipushile.
Why ngazibulali guys? Ngiyadlala
I'm
but
like, 55% is a distinction, guys.
yeah, 52.
I'm 52, ne?
I eat that band.
Hey, that
I eat that band.
And then straight after that, it was anatomy, which was the one that I was telling you about. Where we only started it in March, so that was for 12 weeks, and within the 12 weeks, we learned about all the regions of the body. Yeah, in 12 weeks. 12 weeks, everything.
It's 3 months, ne?
3 months, yes. 11 weeks actually, because the last week was a study week.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, 7 regions, the arteries, the veins, the everything. But what I really liked was that the module on it was structured, like even out for specific regions. Actually, for most of the regions, the lecture slides they had sufficient information for you to at least do well in the test or to pass the test. Like you could read the lecture slides, understand them for you to pass. Because one thing that's really what can I say? Like I avoided it was reading the text, like going to like your Grey's Anatomy, going because they just expand on so much in those textbooks. I remember the time when we were quizzing each other because we both had our anatomy exam on the same week. The questions you were asking me, and then you'd answer, and I'd be like, "Hey, okay." But yeah, I think it was really cool also seeing that like we are like what I'm learning is it's how can I say, man?
It's in line.
Yes, it's in line with what you were learning, and it's like okay, we're speaking the same terminology. It was really cool just speaking to another medical student, quizzing each other. But yeah, anatomy was 12 weeks, and then also within the 12 weeks, we also were dissecting. Yeah, like as we do the region, we dissect that specific region. So that was really cool. I must say, it was cool. But there's probably like we're still going to deal with anatomy again going forward. So
in systems though.
In
systems.
Definitely. After anatomy, we started a new block which is called pathology, and we're still in the middle of that block. So yeah. Pathology, which under that is immunology, anatomical pathology, histology, and then anatomy again. And then you see anatomy comes back. So, yay, kuning. Yeah. And with me, like, I'm starting to see how they want us to now integrate the knowledge that we have. But it's a thing of which, if back then you were struggling, how are you gonna bring it in now with what we're doing and like, how has that been for you? Especially because, like you said that the exam that you wrote this a few weeks ago, it was based on work from last year, second semester, going forward. Like, how have you been able to create consistent study methods that have worked for you in order for you to integrate your knowledge from different modules to like get a broad understanding, Jay?
So the one thing I can commend UFS on, even though it's it's a university of suffering. Godwa. The one thing that I like about it is, for example, I'm in semester 4 now, going into semester 4, and next year, first semester is semester 5, and I'll be writing on semester 4 and 5 content. But what they do is semester 4 is, in quotations, chilled as compared to semester 5. It's not as hectic. There's not as much going on, and there are no exams at the end of the year. It's just tests. And yeah, man, you have like the half day almost every day. That's the same thing on semester 2, and I'd like to assume the same thing on semester 6. But you can have a class that starts at 8 and then at 10 that's the end of the day, because the lectures at UFS are not 1 hour. They are 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. So yeah,
one lecture 4 hours.
Sometimes you can have no class in the morning and then your lecture starts at 1 and ends at 4. Then that's the rest of your day. So semester 2, 4, 6, all the even semesters being chilled allows you to master that content because you have time. So by the time you get to semester 5, you can do your touch-ups there, but you have that engraved in your mind. So yeah,
Okay.
if you took school seriously, but yeah,
Which you've been doing, right?
I hope, yeah.
Okay. That's really cool to hear. Okay, going forward. So we've spoken about the differences, I guess. The
Yep,
modules,
yep.
how we felt about it, our experience, all of that. Um, before we speak about our life outside of medical school, I just want to ask you, what has been the biggest challenge so far?
Oh, oh, biggest challenge so far is the inability to have. Okay, maybe after I explain it, you'll understand it.
Okay.
In grade 12, for example, for me, I'll use grade 12 because I was not doing well throughout. I had this thing, Yauri. We are starting calculus today. No matter how difficult it sounds, like the first class, it sounds like, what is this? What do they mean? F prime of X, what do they? But at the back of your mind, you knew that by the time you write an exam, I'll probably be knowing this more than everyone in here. There's no such thing in medicine. If the first lecture feels like, you don't know whether by the time you write the exam, you'll have mastered this thing, or you'll be saying, I saw it from the beginning. But yeah, this one is going to be a struggle. So that feeling of not knowing, it strikes a lot of fear in me. It makes me wonder whether I should start studying for a module before it starts. Maybe I should ask people, what is your most difficult module? And then when they tell me, then I take it seriously from the beginning. Because yeah, there isn't that feeling of assurance, or no matter what, by the end you'll be knowing all of these things. So yeah.
Like it's hard to predict what you like how you'll be feeling before the exam and the work that you guys would have covered by that time.
Yeah.
So now that we've spoken a lot about medical school, I'd like to ask you about your life outside of medical school, finding balance, social life, hobbies, content creation. And I know that you are a YouTuber and you are
So
a
yeah.
good YouTuber. You are very consistent with your content creation. Yeah, yes, you are. I mean, don't do that now. I know that you also take interest in leadership and also soccer. You mentioned that. So how do you balance all of that? Friends, social life, yeah, walk us through it.
Yeah, I do a lot of things, I think. Uh Football being my priority over everything. Um yeah, I engelzandit iskiwa fethu. Yeah. Um yeah, I play football. I do take interest in leadership, as you've already said. How do I answer this? Okay, so basically, what I do is I manage myself. I had a video on my channel titled "The Art of Self-Management," where I was talking about the fact that time management is, to me, a lie. It's a myth. I believe in self-management. You can't manage time, but you can manage yourself within the bounds of time. So, depending on how much time you have, you have 10 hours until an exam. There's no time management there. It's myself. What do I do in this 10 hours? You study this for this long, you eat, you bath, okay, you do that. It's you managing yourself. Even things like a concept I've spoken about called time crafting, like the skin crafts, where you remove skin from one part of the body to another. So, if right now I was supposed to be, for argument's sake, if I was supposed to be taking drugs, right? So what I'll do is, because I'm using my time of doing drugs to be here, then later when I was supposed to be doing something else, that's when I'm going to do my drugs. So I time craft. If I decide that with my time of studying, I'm going to visit a friend, later when I was going to take a break, I'm going to use that time to study now. So yeah, I don't say that, but it's at the back of my wallpaper when I'm at res and taking my videos. It says, the waiting room is never empty. You wake up and show up and show up to your tasks in order of priority. So if there's a football match, I have to study. I have to go see a friend. I have to do this. It's at that moment I need to decide which one is more important, which one can be done now, which one can be done later. and then I figure out what to do when, and then yeah.
Okay. Wow. Seems like you've figured it out, ne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you play basketball at a very high level. How
Yeah,
do
I
you do
do.
that?
I
Yeah,
play for
how
tags.
exactly?
Well, basketball for me, it's always been a part of my routine. Like even
Mm,
in high school, even in grade 12, I didn't stop playing. I continued playing. And then I got to uni and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be here for 6 years. I might as well
mm,
make something of myself, not just, like I don't just want to graduate as a medical student, although that is a big thing, but I also want to leave here with something else. And so I joined the tax basketball team. And yeah, the time management slash self management
mm,
with
mm.
that. It hasn't been easy because there have been days where or weeks where in medical school, like maybe we'll be writing every single week. And so, we have practice twice a week. So now I need to plan ahead and I need to work according to because I know that okay, if I need to study for a test, this is how much time I need to study for the test.
Yeah.
I know that basketball practice, yes, it's 2 hours, but it's not just 2 hours. It's the preparation before, it's the coming
Mm,
back,
mm,
it's the
mm, mm.
showering, it's the getting into the zone of studying. So that's about 4 hours of my day taken away. Yes, when you go to it's four
Okay.
hours,
Okay.
because the traveling there, 2 hours coming
Sure.
back, setting up
But
my
traveling
activity.
kanjani kanti nijime America?
I will. You traveling, I take the bus.
Oh,
But
okay, okay.
even so, the bus leaves at 5:30, and then I can't leave my room at 5:30. I must be there at the bus stop at 5:30. So I must start changing at 5 for practice.
Mm.
So 5, 5:30, 6 to 8 practice. I'm back in my room by like 8:30 slash quarter to 9. It takes me another 30 minutes to settle,
Reset, yeah.
reset. Okay, so food and that. Yeah, well,
Hmm.
so yeah, like because I know it's gonna take 4 hours, I need to plan my day accordingly, knowing that I need to be productive when I
Yeah,
can,
yeah, yeah.
and it also forces me to make the most of the like to make the most of my free time, if I can say it. So if there's a
Sure.
break, if there's a 2 hour break, I know that I can't be just studying J. Like I need to be intentional with every single study session, of which it hasn't been easy, but we're trying. We're
Mm.
trying. Like I said, every
Right,
day
guys.
I'm learning. Every
But
day.
then, this is me asking for advice.
Mm,
When you come back from a very like difficult, physically difficult basketball training session,
yes,
and you're tired, what do you do? And you have to study.
I'd sleep or take a nap. But I yeah, that's what I do because I can't study when
I'm tired.
if it's really bad and I can't focus. And thing is, when you're studying, like studying requires so much of you. Like
Yes.
if you want your study session to be intentional and
Mm,
productive,
mm, mm.
you need to be so locked in that you know that this time is for studying. And yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot that we have to study in medical school. So I'd rather be productive and know that okay, I'd rather study after sleeping than coming back having a 2 hour study session, but it's not productive, knowing that later on I'm still gonna have to go back to that work.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's just
Makes sense.
intentionality
Makes
is so
sense.
important. Like I'd rather
Okay.
take a nap, sleep, get up, and we push again.
Sharp. Sharp.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel it.
yeah. All right. So moving on, I want to ask you, what is something you wish you knew before studying medicine?
That my plan was not going to work out.
Mm,
Came into medicine thinking, okay, Koketso, we work hard to get here, and then once we're in, just chill, because then we just need to get 50.
mm,
Only to find out that I had to work even harder than I did just to get a 51.
mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and getting a 50. Yay! You'll
Nah,
fight to get that
yeah,
50.
no, 50 is so rewarding.
Dude. Dude.
You know God exists. Honor.
There's hope.
Yeah. But yeah.
On that note of getting 50s, um, a lot of the time when we get those 50s, it's not that you only know 50% of the work.
Mm,
Most of the time, you know, if I can say maybe 70 or 75% of the, or way more than 50, let me say. But it's not that you studied 50%. It's the way that the questions are asked sometimes, or the way that they set the test, or
yeah, yeah.
like, can you just speak more about that. Like, how have you navigated that? Like, you getting a 50, but you studied so hard. Yeah.
I usually say that medicine is about luck. To be honest, medicine is about luck because the like for example, I'll say anatomy. I'll use neuroanatomy, the way that they structured our papers. So the theory is like, okay, let's say, let me use the practical part of it. It's out of 50. Out of that 50, neuroanatomy is only 8 marks. But the things they taught you are not 8 marks. They're an awful lot. So you have to hope that out of everything that they taught you, the eight that they asked you is part of what you learned. So it's like you can study session 1 to 10, and it's out of 10 the test. It doesn't mean that they'll get one question from each. And then someone else who studies session 1 to 8, and then when he gets there, they ask 5 questions from session 9 and 10. So that means yana sekapala out of 50. So that's basically what I'm saying. Guti. Sometimes it's about luck. In first year, first semester, we wrote this other exam. It's called a MIMA, an integrated medical assessment, where you write about all the modules, not all, but like the modules are joined into one thing. Okay. There are 6 modules, but 3 are in one day, another 3 is on the other day. That's like one full thing. So when we wrote this MIMA for anatomy, I remember studying this one session so well, only to find out that in the integrated part of it, every question was about that session, so I got every mark. Someone else might have split their studying across many sessions, so they didn't get the mark that is as good as I did. So I think it's about luck, man. It's about luck, yo.
Yeah, definitely. Like, when it comes to securing the marks, yeah, but your knowledge, it doesn't always reflect your knowledge. All right, Koketso, I've got one more question for you, and that is, what advice would you give to anyone that wants to study medicine? Medicine, like just medicine in general, and then medicine at UFS. See, that's one question, I guess. Yeah.
I'd say I don't want to say come prepared, because no, I think the advice I'd give someone who wants to study medicine is have a very strong why. I mean, there's Tommy out there whose father has 29 businesses. So if medicine gets difficult, Tommy can just drop out. It's fine. But if you have a very strong why, someone else has to rather, when they feel like they're lazy to study, they have to close their eyes and imagine the situation at home, and that's enough to motivate them. Someone else has to imagine, I don't know, maybe their grandmother is sick, so they want to become a doctor to save them, and that's motivating. Someone else just wants to buy a certain expensive car. If that's motivation to you, if that motivation is strong enough, then that's going to motivate you. But have your why, have a very strong why. Usually, there's a neutral why that I have for everyone is, if you can't do something, or if you're feeling lazy to do something like studying, for example, just close your eyes and start to imagine what happens if you don't do it. So I'll take, for example, if you don't study, it means you fail the exam. You fail the exam. If you have funding, you lose your funding. If you lose your funding, then you come back and you sit at home. You sit at home, what do? You are a burden. To who? To your parents. How it happens. One day your parents die. And then it's just a sequence of events. Basically, if you don't study, you might not look at it, but so many things are going to come falling apart, because whose responsibility are you going to be, Mama Fundi? The cars that you want, the life that you want, culture. You're not getting that. So I think have a very strong why before Ngena. If you want money, sharp, make sure that motivation is strong enough to carry you throughout. So yeah.
Wow. I have nothing to add, yes, like wow. Yeah, no, I agree. Because even getting into medicine, there's a reason why you were so persistent and so adamant as to why you want to get in. So even when you've made it into the degree, you shouldn't forget that reason, that why. It should keep you going. So wow, okay, so that was enlightening. Yeah, I
I
learned a
hope,
lot
yeah.
from just listening to you, and I'm sure the viewers out there, they also learned a lot. So to conclude the video, do you have any last words or any quote that you'd love to leave with someone out there that is watching this, someone that feels inspired, someone that perhaps they're going to send it to someone else, what words
Mm.
do you want to leave with that person?
Yeah, the words that I have to that I'd like to leave with someone out there is um sometimes you need to forget about time. Forget about if you want something, forget about how long it's going to take you. If you want to buy a G Wagon, forget about I need to buy it before the end of the year. Time adds a lot of pressure. Because what you need to know and realize, and what I want you to remember, is that a dream delayed is not a dream denied. Whether it takes you 5 years or it takes you 10 years, at the end of the day, you will be whatever you want to become. Because, as an analogy, what does it help being a millionaire at the age of 20 and then dying at your age of 25? And then someone else becomes a millionaire at the age of 40, but they die at the age of 90. So, yeah, don't compare yourself with others. A dream delayed is not a dream denied.
Thank you so much, Koketso, for that. So, to you watching this, I'd just like to say thank you for sticking till the end. If you made it this far, then can you please comment with a red heart just to show some love? And yeah, thank you, Siki Squad. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with someone that you think would be interested in content like this so that I can continue and that I can, interview other medical students, interview people that you guys would like me to interview. But otherwise, it's been great. Thank you so much. And yeah, bye, Siki Squad.
Peace.